Hello my beautifuls, who's up for a love reading? I'm getting that they thought that the grass was greener on the other side. They've since found out that it's not, and guess what? They want to come back. So what do we do? What does this collective do? Do we take them back? Do we not take them back? What's some advice and some guidance for this beautiful collective today? Oh, okay, there's a few cards that's popped out. I was only going to do 3 cards, but it turns out that we've got 4 cards that want to come out. Okay, today I'm reading from the Wandering Star deck by Kat Pierce. It's a really nice deck. And what I like about it is that she hasn't, a lot of the tarot readings have reverse meanings as well. She hasn't really incorporated that in her deck, which is nice because that's usually associated with the negative side of the card. You can if you want, but since she's made that her little rule, I'm just going to make that my rule as well. Okay, so we've got 4 cards here. It is the High Priestess, the 5 of Cups, 4 of Swords, and 6 of Swords. Okay, and then I'm just going to, just so we can get a bit more of a in-depth reading, we'll throw out some love cards from my own Oracle deck, which is the Wairoa Aroha Oracle deck. Ooh, okay, so how appropriate. It's the 3rd party card that has come up. This is a love reading, and this is talking about someone who thought the grass was greener on the other side. You're currently, apart from this person, so your person, well, this person that used to be your person, has decided to move on with somebody else, and it could be that this has been play for, I don't know, the last year, last couple of months, I'm going to say, and they've since found out that, okay, it's not as great as I thought it was going to be, and so they're getting a few karmic lessons along the way. But how are you doing? How are you doing as the collective? So the High Priestess card has come up. So with the High Priestess card, look, this one talks about you have this the ability to know and feel. It's called, well, actually it's your intuition. So it could be that something for a long period of time was telling you that something wasn't right, something was off, you were getting called, your higher self was calling you back to you to say, stop, there's something that is off about this connection. Now, whether you chose to listen at the time, well, that's another thing. Sometimes we just don't want to, and I've talked about this in my other videos, where sometimes it's just easier to turn a blind eye, and trust me, I get it. But, you know, when that inner wisdom, that inner voice keeps pulling you back and showing you things, you need to stop and listen to that inner voice, and listen and go with your intuition and what it's trying to tell you. Okay, so that could come to you by way of, you might be getting visions or thoughts, or there might be things happening in your dreams that are very vivid, that are a little bit out the gate, I'm going to say, or that you just can't, there's just something that's off that doesn't feel right. And usually when we feel that way, we need to tap into, well, what is that? What's making me feel that way, and start doing some investigation of our own to get to the crux of the problem and work out what it is. Now, eventually you did work out what it was, because this person in the end wasn't shy about showing you, even was quite hurtful about how they went about the situation, and quite possibly just discarded you quite openly, and was quite ruthless about it, and cold and distant about it. As a result, you felt and experienced a lot of sorrow. You've been through a period of grieving the loss. It truly and really did feel like someone passed away and died in your life. That's how shocking and sudden and devastating it was for you. And so what happened was you needed to then go into this Four of Swords energy, which is resting, relaxing, recovering, building yourself back up again, piece by piece, so slowly. And it has felt like a long and very tedious process to heal, to put yourself back together again. A lot of the time when we're healing, we wish and we hope that it will take a lot quicker than what is realistically possible. There is no amount or period of time that you can put on healing. Healing takes as long as healing takes. And so unfortunately, you just got to go through the motions. And so what that can look like sometimes is loss of sleep, parts of your brain that have shut down. So normally you might be quite upbeat and positive and go out and get shit done and just make things happen. It's been really hard and a trying and testing time for you to get through these last few weeks or months even, or possibly even the last year, because you've been dealing with this grief and this loss and this sorrow and the pain and the hurt and the anguish from it all. Now, remember how we talked about the grass is not greener? They are now trying to come back in and possibly messaging you or texting or just showing up somehow in your life. And at one point in time, you probably would have settled and gone back for that. And if you'd have done that, that wouldn't have been good for you, good for your head, good for your heart, because you wouldn't have set up any kind of healthy boundaries, I'm going to say, or yeah, it just would demonstrate to yourself that you're going to put up with this behavior and just take what you can get because you thought that was as good as you could get, and it's not. And you've realized now from going through the pain of grief, of this loss, and crying your eyes out, talking about it with friends, just really getting all those feelings out to help with that healing process, and then going into recovery mode and getting a lot of sleep and catching up on sleep that you've lost through the night, but also sleep and sleeping from the exhaustion and the burnout that you were experiencing from the pain and the anguish and all the crap that this person was throwing at you. Okay, so there was a lot of self-sabotage and toxic behaviors that came with this so that this person could go off and live his life and be, without you distracting or blowing up his world or, making him feel shit. He just wanted to cut all ties, and so he did so in quite a nasty way. So you've been doing a lot of rest and recovery, which is exactly what you needed to do and what needed to happen. You've done a lot of grieving. You've learned a lot about yourself. Part of the process of you putting yourself back together again also meant that you set up some really healthy boundaries for yourself. So now that they want to come back in and knock on the door, the advice here is no. Just keep on going with your journey of healing. Keep on going with your what you've chosen to focus on. So you could have picked up a side hustle. You could be focusing on your business. You could be focusing on your career. You could be focusing on your kids again because you haven't had a lot of time to just get that peaceful, beautiful time with the family because you've just been so up in your head with all the chaos and drama that's going on in the background. So the Six of Swords here sort of invites you to just move on, carry on exploring all these other parts of yourself that you're just loving and enjoying now. And so with this person that's come back in, trying to come back in, it's not even that you're saying, no, piss off. It's actually that you've now stepped back and stepped into your feminine energy through this healing process. And you've found this beautiful soft side of yourself where you can just say to them, actually, no, I'm good here. I'm good. And you really genuinely mean that. And you're actually wishing them well. Now, there'll be some of you collective out there that might think, no, you can just piss off. But I feel like for a lot of you that are out there, you're actually in that softer, more feminine energy, exploring these other beautiful sides of yourself that you are so happy and content with. And you're like, no, I'm good here.